Welcome. This is Ad Emmen reporting live for Premier Magazine from the Digital Infrastructures Conference in Krakow. And we are here with Natalia Mignola, who is from the OpenAire project and infrastructure, which is one of the organizing entities here. So welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you tell a little bit about OpenAire?
Okay, OpenAire is an EU project. It's an initiative. I would say it's an initiative. It started in 2009, implementing the open access pilot of the Commission, and it has gradually moved to implementing the open access publication Horizon 2020 pilot, and we are involved in the processes of implementing the open research data pilot as well. And what we started in 2009 and a few years before with some predecessors programs with open access publications, and that was our main focus. But as we see that things are changing in open scholarly communication, is that we're moving towards open scholarship in general, which is, I think it is an overarching term for open science, because it's open science plus the communication, how you do the processes, and this is our next big challenge.
Mm-hmm. So the open access is also very important in the European context. I think the European Union endorsed or adopted it, and
yes, yeah. And European Union was one of the forefront, one of the leaders in the open access policy formulation and implementation, and then all the member states are following suit. But open access to publication was a very small issue. So now open science, where Commissioner Medes has the Open Science, Open Innovation, Open to the World initiative, which should be partly implemented by the European Open Science, is a harder challenge. It is a challenge, and one of the key goals of OpenAire is, first of all, to put this open science agenda in the table of every funder in the European Union, and not only the policy agenda, but also how it's accompanied by the implementation, because policies are fine. Mm-hmm. Without implementation, they mean nothing.
No. In that sense, the European Commission is also putting a lot of emphasis on that new projects should do something with open access. So,
yes. So what we're doing is we have a suite of services that help the European, a project investigator or a project coordinator from the Horizon 2020 projects, is we give them guidelines, we provide the technical infrastructure, so from the moment that the project starts, as they go along, they know, we hope that they know what to do with the publications. We hope to know that what they need to do with the data management plans as a start, to give them guides on where to store and how to store and how to curate the data. But most importantly, OpenAire works in a different way. We have it's a hierarchical way. We have our members are the national open access desks in 33 states, countries in Europe, where they are the ambassadors of open science. So they have a dual role. One of the roles is to propagate the open science policies and their implementation in the countries, and they are the ones that go to the institutions, to the researchers, to the funders, and then the other role is to get the requirements back from the communities, all these communities, and propagate them up to the OpenAire platform to see how we can devise more services and what are the actual user needs.
Mm-hmm. So we are here at the conference where there are more digital infrastructures, yes. E-infrastructures. So I guess you're collaborating. I'm sure you're collaborating. I don't yes. guess. I'm sure you're collaborating with all of them. So can you tell a little bit about the collaboration importance and what you do there?
Okay, so we are collaborating, or we're trying to collaborate on various layers. So first of all is we're trying to understand each other. we do each do, because it's not hard. Infrastructures are sometimes hard to understand. Each of us has a different organizational model, so we try to see how these organizational models may fit together, or we collaborate at the organization level, and then we go down to the service integration. We're talking about concrete services integrating to each other, and I will explain later how, an example of how this could be done, but also collaboration on the human support level. So how can we do training together? How can we, between our constituencies, how can we identify the commonalities, the common goals, the common stakeholders, and how can we join forces to provide this human support?
Mm-hmm. Are there some concrete examples of working together?
I mean, there are some concrete examples. Now we are in the process of devising common training for example, on open science. This is where the OpenAire consortium would be. The OpenAire model, just to give you an example, is putting the libraries and the universities at the center. There are the infrastructures like EGI or EUDAT. They are devising repositories either on the thematic level or the national level. So the idea would be, because OpenAire is at the scholarly communication level, which is at the publishing level, and the publishing level has changed, because in the past it was publications towards the end of the research process. Now publishing is data at the different levels, publishing of software that you work with. So OpenAire is there to connect all the dots. So when you have an infrastructure that is providing storage, that is providing cloud capacities to their communities, we would like to integrate our services with them. So when a researcher deposits something, they know what open science means, they know what they have to do, and this is where OpenAire comes to mind. And we hope that all these, let's start with data, let's focus on data for the moment, is that all this data will be known to the OpenAire system, and we will be linked to the funding, to the publications, to the organizations, to the people, because OpenAire is trying to do a European-wide research information system.
Okay, so this conference is now coming to a close.
Yes.
So what's your...
I think it was a very good start. It's from the OpenAire perspective is that we had about 10 to 15 people present, and I think the overall impression was that yes, we need to integrate more in order. Mainly, the focus is to bring the libraries and the data librarians that OpenAire is trying to establish closer to the more technical infrastructure, and we don't need to go to the technical details, but we want to go, as I said before, to the details to see what is available, what is on offer, how can they work at the institutional level or at the national level, how can they work with each other, and this is really important.
Okay, thank you very much for this interview.
Thank you.
For Premier Magazine, this was Atem Reporting.